One other thing I
Okay, so my whole fucking team's getting their ass kicked by one thing. So that's cool. So Alligor is gonna go out. Because I definitely did not train up the little guys enough.
One other thing that I've always kind of thought, and I don't normally tell people this, but I've always kind of thought that like our lives are kind of just being played out as like a children's bedtime story for like some higher being. Whereas
Could
like what's happening, like in a very similar way as the Sims' lives are just what we want them to be.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if it's like a fate thing or like we're not in really any control thing. I think it's more of like a whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen thing. And if anyone chose to just watch, that would be their business. Like, they could just watch it all unfold. And it's just like a chapter of the story that's being read.
Right. I think it's weird because with stuff like that, I don't want to say I don't give a fuck. Like, but like with people, when people are always like, "Oh, what's the afterlife? Life, blah blah blah, this and that." I fall into the category of I don't care. Like, I don't care if there's a God.
I think there's a big difference between not caring and not giving.
I believe
like,
those
I
are.
feel like not.
I believe those are synonyms, but go on.
Disagree. I think not giving a fuck is a little aggressive. Whereas like,
Well, that's
if
just
you don't
an
give a-
aggressive way of saying I don't care. Like that's
I disagree. It's
I don't
like-
mean it in an aggressive way. I just mean like I really
no,
don't.
I'm like that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like if you don't care what happens, it's like here's my best example. It's like I don't care about the New England Patriots. I don't care what they do, but like to say I don't give a fuck about the Patriots, it's like I'm interested in what they do, but I don't like it doesn't affect my team in like a super boiled down form. Like I find it interesting what they do, but I don't really have I don't actively care if they win or lose. But when it comes to like the playoff time, I'm interested in whether or not they get to the Super Bowl and and then New Orleans doesn't worry about them. So I give a fuck in that sense, but like I don't care about what they do during the season.
I guess I don't see I give a fuck as like that an aggressive of a thing, just because my vocabulary is always based off of exaggeration regardless.
No, for sure, and I think that it can be used interchangeably, but I think just in this specific context.
Yeah. So anyway, like I guess you're right. It's not that
yeah.
I don't give a fuck, but it's just like whatever happens in the afterlife, I feel like I'm cool with it regardless.
Yeah, I don't know I haven't really thought about it too much.
I
think something cool will happen.
I was listening to a podcast. I actually sent this to. Oh, hi. Okay. Fuck. All right.
Yeah.
I was listening to who was on this podcast. It's the dude from Clerks and a couple other movies. I'm gonna see what it is. Kevin Smith. First of all, when you're getting philosophy from Kevin Smith, it's a little bit of a weird feeling. But
yeah, a little bit.
he had a near-death experience very recently. And he was talking about how people with a near-death experience, a lot of people stop fearing death after that. And they realize that you kind of go through your whole life, like, not with like a vehement fear of death, but with like that it's always lingering there. It's always like, man, I'm going to die one day. And it's like kind of scary. A lot of people with near-death experiences like him, as soon as you have a near-death experience, that's gone. You just don't care anymore. Like, you're not, like, waiting for death, but you're like, oh, that's not bad. I'm gonna die.
I feel like... See, that's the thing, like... I feel like... Like, death is such a small part of it. Like, what are you gonna do? It's like I equate it to like if you're gonna worry about something that you have to deal with, but if you die, then you don't have to worry about shit because you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't want to say that worrying about being afraid of death is stupid, because it's for sure not.
Oh no, it's not. But it's interesting.
I think more. I don't think if people stop to think about it, I think people would not be so afraid of death. They'd be more afraid of dying.
Okay.
Like a slow death or a painful death. I think that's what freaks people out. But like being afraid of being deceased, that's like foolish because you're not gonna care. It's not like you can worry once you're dead.
Yeah.
You're just dead.
It's so
you can
so
worry about
interesting.
like you can worry about the effects that your death would have on other people. That's a totally valid fear.
I feel like
that would fuck a lot of people up.
Yeah.
That's something to freak out. But like, it's like, man, if I kick the bucket tomorrow, whatever. Not that I'm like,
well, that's
not that I'm like excited to die or anything.
Yeah, that's always kind of the point you have to wrap around back to. You're like, not that I want to die, but like.
But it's like, if I'm dead, what am I gonna do? Care? No.
Right.
I'm dead. Can't do shit.
He made a good point though in that podcast where he said a good way to think about it, because a lot of people, there was like a comic book he was reading once where Death was like a character and she came to like take somebody and they're like, so that's it, and they're like, well, I wasn't given enough, and she's like, well, you were given what everybody else was given. You were given a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And he's like, if we just think about it in the sense that we weren't supposed to get this, like the likelihood that we ourselves as a person got a lifetime seems so unlikely in an infinite universe that if you spend every day like, man, I wasn't even supposed to be here, I'm just gonna roll with what I can, then that's such a much healthier way of living. It's instead of like, I'm not gonna have enough time, you think I have time and I'm lucky for that. No, I'm saying,
I don't know about that. I feel like I hear your point, but I feel like if you do that, you're gonna end up settling a lot. Because I feel like
no, I don't think I wouldn't agree with that. I think those are two separate mindsets, but I definitely see where you're coming from.
Like, I feel like if you're like, let's take, I don't know, think of anything. I feel like if your mindset is eternally, well, I didn't have to come this far, so whatever else happens is fine. I feel like that just makes you less motivated to get the most out of things.
I think, okay, you know what? I think we're both right in the sense that I think both mindsets would happen. It depends on who you are. Like, I think that people like me and you, when we get the mindset of like that positive mindset, me and you wouldn't be less motivated. But a lot of people, you're right, a lot of people would settle a lot.
Yeah, people are like, well, what's the point? Yeah, it's like why should I work hard now? It's like when I could just take whatever's going to happen naturally as, well, it's more than I could have gotten.
Right.
Like, no, why wouldn't you just strive to get the most out of things rather than just settle for it's more than what could have been.
Right, but I guess the difference is, like, those people are always going to think like that, and that's just how it is. Also, I fucking hate love, confusion, paralyzation, sleep, anything in Pokemon. I hate it. I hate it all. I don't want it. Why are you immobilized with love every turn? Is it not like a
break?
Is it not a 50-50 chance? I thought it was a 50-50 chance. 7 turns in a row I've been immobilized.
Well, technically, everything's a 50-50 chance.
What's my percentage while in love with a Swoobat that I'm going to attack? What's my percentage? What's my fucking percentage? Because that was 10 in a row.
Let me find out.
This is getting ridiculous. It's getting so frustrating that it pulled me directly out of this conversation that I was really enjoying. I hate this game.
I disagree. It's not just a this game thing. It's all Pokemon.
Does all Pokemon do that thing where every enemy Pokemon gets the 1 HP thing where they don't die in one hit because they have the fucking like, oh, I'm tough guy, I get stopped at 1 HP no matter what you hit me with, because that's really a good addition. Hyper Potion.
That's right. Oh yeah, most Pokemon games have that. Infatuate. Cannot attack 50% of the time. Yeah, it's just 50-50.
That's fucking stupid.
But yeah, like, you ever think about that? That the odds for anything is always 50-50?
No, because that's untrue.
No, it's not.
What are you talking about? Explain this reasoning, because the initial statement sounds silly.
Either something will happen, or it won't.
That doesn't make it 50-50.
It sure does.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It 100% does.
So okay. So here, no.
Are 50-50.
No, they're not. That's not how that.
You either would or you wouldn't.
And
that's
what?
50-50.
No.
Every time a baseball player comes up to the plate, the odds are 50-50 he'll get a hit.
That's
either will or he won't.
That's untrue. If I jumped off a plane, if I jumped out of a plane, and you took 100 people, you with your phrase would be saying 50 of those people would survive.
No.
50-50 means like, a 50% chance, Brian.
Yeah, there's a 50% chance you live. There's a 50% chance you die.
That's untrue.
You might live, you might die. One of them might happen. That's just true.
Every other argument we've had up to this point, I've seen your point, and I've accepted that you're right in most cases.
What else could happen? It's like it either.
What else can happen is you have a 99% chance of dying, Brian. You don't have a 50. You don't have a 99% chance and also a 50% chance. That doesn't make any sense.
No, you'll either die or you won't.
That's not 50-50. I agree that you either die or you won't. I agree with that. I don't agree that makes it a 50-50.
It's either you will or you won't.
Those are two outcomes. I understand that. I understand there's.
It's like the odds of you continuing.
No, listen.
Continuing to play
Here,
Pokemon right now.
Here.
Either you will or you won't.
Stop. First of all, I'm gonna mark this so you can highlight it later. Let me lay down my fucking argument for this ridiculous nonsense you've just hit me with. And I'm going full David on this because this is how I'm gonna go through with this argument because that's my confidence level right now.
We'll continue to play the game at least.
No, because now you've upset me. So if I roll a 20-sided die, are you with me? A 20-sided die. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that gives me a 5% chance for every outcome. There's a 5% chance I roll a 1. There's a 5% chance I roll a 2, right? So on and so forth.
No, there's a 50% chance you roll a 2, or a 50% chance you don't roll a 2.
You cannot be serious right now. This has to be a bit. This cannot not be a bit.
Tell me I'm wrong. You'll either roll a 2 or you won't. Spot the lie. You can't do it.
It's a bit, right?
If you roll a die.
Yes, I know. If you roll.
Or you will not get
Whoa,
a 2.
there's no way. This has to be a bit because you're laughing so much.
But I just don't understand where the anger comes from.
The anger comes from stupidity. The anger.
I have a GameCube in front of me right now. I could turn it on. I could not. That's the odds. The odds are 50-50.
You're not serious.
I am.
No, you're not.
If I throw my phone against this wall right now, it might break. It might not. 50-50. Say I'm wrong. You can't do it.
You know how ridiculous this sounds, right?
It's wrong. It's not wrong. If I walk in front of a moving car, I might die. I might not. I can do this all day.
Are you being serious?
Yes, I'm being serious.
No, you're not.
It's factual.
Have you taken a rudimentary math course? If I rolled a 20-sided die, it's not a 50-50 chance if I roll a 2. That's not how.
Yeah, because you'll either roll a 2 or you won't. That's how it works. You gonna play the fucking game?
No! Oh my god. Oh my god, it hurts.
See, at a pace like this, there's a 50-50 chance we'll beat the game.
Yeah, there's a
Either we
50-50 chance I'm gonna
or we
kick
won't.
your ass right now.
Yeah, either you will or you won't. I'm pretty sure you won't.
Well, why is that? It's only 50-50. You can't be pretty sure of any outcome with a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, I think you probably won't. But you might.
There's no probably. Probability is now out the window because you just called all probability a 50-50 chance, which in fact takes away probability by itself. It's all gone. Years of science out the window.
Yeah, you're right. Like,
Oh.
you might agree with me, or you might not. You might be wrong,
That was a good
but
bit,
you may
Brian.
be right. It's not a bit, it's a fact.
It can't possibly. You can't possibly.
Yeah, every time a team takes a field, they might win,
That's
or they might not.
that doesn't make it 50-50.
Yes, it does!
No.
There's only 2 outcomes, win or lose.
No, because with the 27 die, there's 20 outcomes! That's why it's a 27 die, it's 20 outcomes! There's 1 outcome that's a 2, and there's 19 others that's not a 2!
Yeah,
That's 19 to 1, that's not 50-50!
I love when you get angry.
Yeah, me too!
Yeah, but if you roll any one of those 19, that's still not a 2.
Correct!
Every time it's the same odds that you're gonna roll a 2, same odds you're gonna roll a not 2. That's a fact! That is a fact. It's a fucking fact. Either Tusktooth will kill this Boldor,
He didn't,
or he won't.
because the
Well,
odds
that's
were
what he
against him because it was not a 50-50 shot.
Disagree.